Okay, guys, we are doing two sections today because we had rockets. So the first one that we're doing is parts of an expression. So I handed you the homework for these. We've already glued them in our journals. So we're going to start here. The main focus here is vocabulary. So we have to know a lot of the concepts. So when I look at this up here, you hear me saying in class like a monomial or a binomial or a trinomial, but we talk about terms. Terms are individual pieces of an expression. So if I look up here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. Okay? 6 terms that have not yet been combined together. So 14x is a term, positive 9 is a term, negative 2x is a term, 8 is a term, negative 5x is a term, and positive 1 is a term. It's very important that you understand what a term is. Okay? So 6 terms. We can break that down even further to talk about variable terms. We already know what a variable is. A variable is a number, it's a letter that stands for something. So when we talk about variable terms, it's just terms with a letter. So when I look, I have 14x, negative 2x, and negative 5x. Those are my variable terms. 14x, negative 2x, and negative 5x. Coefficient is a big word that you've already heard me talking about this year, and it will never leave in all of algebra. So coefficient is just the number in front of the variable. It's how many variables are we talking about? Well, if I look at my variable term, 14 is the coefficient. It's the number in front of the variable. Negative 2 is my coefficient, the number in front of the variable. Negative 5, the number in front of the variable. So my coefficients, 14, negative 2, negative 5. A lot of times students make the mistake and they'll tell me that the coefficient is 14x. Coefficients are never a letter. It's only a number. It's how many variables are we talking about. So that's what a coefficient is. The constant term, it's the number that stands alone. So nothing else is attached to it. So I have positive 9, positive 8, and positive 1. Those are all constant terms. It's just the number that we're working with. So very important that you note these 3 vocabulary words. I can even throw terms in. Terms is anything. It's just separated by a positive or a negative. So that's what it looks like. So on our examples together, if I ask you to identify variable terms, constant terms, and coefficients, my variable terms are LA and 4A. Do I have any constant terms? Are there any constant terms that the number stands alone? No, I don't have any. No constant terms. My coefficient, remember, it's the number in front of the variable. So 11 and 4. Let's jump down to number 3. So my variable terms are negative 12m and positive 4m. My constant term is negative 3 and positive 16. Notice you have to say whether it's positive or negative. Remember, we don't do adding and subtracting anymore. It's all about if something's positive or if it's negative. And so on my coefficients, remembering that coefficient's the number in front of your variable, I have negative 12 and positive 4. Jump down to number 8. We'll do that one together. So my variable terms here are 13y and negative 2y. My constant term is negative 5 and positive 18. And my coefficient is 13 and negative 2. So that should give you a feel for what a variable term is, what a constant term is, and what a coefficient is. All right? That's just the vocabulary surrounding. All right? Of course, this doesn't work. So let's jump to the back side of that paper and talk about combining like terms. Now that we know what the terms are, here's where we're going to combine. Notice we're not adding and subtracting, we're just combining like terms. So again, a big vocabulary word. We can simplify an algebraic expression by combining like terms. Look at all that vocabulary in here. Simplify, algebraic expression, combining like terms. Remember what it means to simplify. It means you can't break it down anymore. It's as simple as it's going to get. So when I look here, I have 14x. So I want you to pretend that 14x is like, just give it a value. Let's say that x stands for cups, okay? So I have 14 cups, -2 cups, and -5 cups. So in all, if I am sorting those out, I've got -7x and +14x, which makes it 7x. My constant terms, this is just my integers. So 9, 8, and 1 is 18. So to simplify, 7x plus 18. You notice I can't combine these anymore. You can never combine a variable with a constant term. They're two separate terms. You can't combine them. So this is simplifying. Notice the language here. Let me pan that up. This is simplifying because I can't make it any simpler. I can't say 7x plus 18 is 25x. That's not true. It stops here. It's an algebraic expression. There's no equal sign, and they have two separate terms. And I've combined my like terms to give me that, okay? All right, now let's take a look and do some examples together. So take a look at number 13. I have 6c and 11c. That's 17c plus 1. Can't break it down anymore. That's as simplified as it's going to get. Number 16. -6 and -16 is -22 plus 8a. I have a lot of students say, well, what if I put 8a minus 22? Is that the correct answer? You tell me. What property allows me to say that? Commutative property. As long as my variable term is positive and my constant term is negative, commutative property is okay. When we format, though, we want our variable term to come first. So it's not wrong later in the year. It's going to be wrong when we talk about formatting. So it's very important to start early and training ourselves correctly. So start putting that variable term first. Okay, that's number 16. Let's take a look at, let's jump down to 25. Sometimes what I do is I circle my like terms. So 9m can be combined with m. 9m and m is 10m. I cannot combine n and m together. They're two different things. Let's say M stood for markers and N stands for napkins. Markers and napkins can never go together. That doesn't make anything. So you've got 10 markers, and then let's say you have -5n and -2n. That's -7n, so you lost 7 napkins. And then, of course, my constant term is 14 and -7, which is +7. So that's as simplified as it's going to get. You can't combine anything else. Constant terms last, and then I go in alphabetical order. So M's, then N's, then constant terms. Let's take a look at number 26. So again, I'm going to circle 2c, -8c, -c. Just right here, this -c right here, what's my coefficient of a -c? It's going to be -1. It's understood to be a -1. So when I combine those together, I get -7c. And then in a different color, maybe I do my d terms. So I have +7d and a +4d, which is a +11d. And then my constant term is -5. Okay? Now, let's not be afraid of the fraction down here. So remember how you just got to add fractions. What do we need to add fractions? We need a common denominator. So I've got 11/4 and -3/8. So I'm going to change this to be 8 to match my 8 over here. So that's 22/8k minus 3/8k, which gives me 19/8k. Simplified even further, that's it. Nothing else can be combined. So 19/8k. Keep it as an improper simplified fraction. So that should take you through this one to be able to do your homework. If you're still struggling, come see me in tutoring, and we can get the kinks worked out before I see you in class on Monday. Good luck, but stay tuned for the next video.